Right now, somewhere in the world, a doctor is prescribing an antibiotic that will kill a bacterial infection within days. A surgeon is removing a tumor that a century ago would have been a death sentence. A vaccine is preventing a disease that once wiped out entire civilizations. Modern medicine is so deeply woven into daily life that most people never stop to ask the obvious question: what happened before any of it existed? Because for 300,000 years, there were no hospitals, no antibiotics, no surgery, no painkillers beyond what the earth itself provided. And yet humans didn't just survive. They crossed continents, built civilizations, raised children, lived long enough to pass everything they knew to the next generation, which means something extraordinary was already happening long before the first doctor ever existed. The first clue comes not from ancient texts, but from bones. In 1995, archaeologists excavating a Neanderthal burial site in Shanidar Cave in Iraq made a discovery that quietly rewrote assumptions about prehistoric life. Among the remains of an adult male estimated to be between 35 and 45 years old at death, elderly by Ice Age standards, they found something unexpected. His skeleton showed severe injuries accumulated over a lifetime: a withered arm, fused vertebrae, a blind eye, partially healed fractures across multiple bones, injuries so debilitating that survival would have been impossible alone. He couldn't hunt, couldn't gather, couldn't fully care for himself, and yet he lived for years after those injuries, which means only one thing: someone took care of him. Long before hospitals, before medicine, before any formal system of healing existed, humans were already doing the most powerful thing medicine has ever discovered: looking after each other. But survival required more than compassion. It required knowledge. And ancient humans accumulated that knowledge with extraordinary precision. Archaeobotanist Marika van der Veen spent years analyzing plant remains from ancient settlements across multiple continents and found consistent evidence of deliberate plant use stretching back at least 60,000 years. Yarrow, Groundsel, Ephedra, plants with genuine, documented pharmacological effects. Anti-inflammatory properties, wound-healing compounds, natural fever reducers, found not as food remains, but concentrated in specific locations, suggesting deliberate preparation and storage. Your ancestors weren't guessing, they were experimenting, observing cause and effect across generations, building a pharmacopoeia without laboratories, journals, or formal education. Some of their discoveries were so accurate that modern pharmaceutical companies have returned to traditional plant knowledge specifically to find compounds that synthetic chemistry missed. The medicine was always there. Humans simply learned to read it. And when plants weren't enough, the body itself became the first line of defense. In the 1980s, evolutionary biologists Paul Ewald and George Williams developed what they called Darwinian Medicine, the study of how the human body fights disease not as random chaos, but as a sophisticated, evolved strategy. Fever, for example, was long treated as a symptom to suppress, but research revealed something counterintuitive. Fever is a deliberate immune response. Elevated body temperature actively inhibits bacterial replication while simultaneously accelerating immune cell production. Your body raises its own temperature on purpose to make itself uninhabitable for whatever is trying to kill you. Vomiting, inflammation, pain, what modern medicine often treats as problems to eliminate, are frequently the body running ancient programs designed specifically for survival. For 300,000 years before any external medicine existed, the human immune system was already fighting wars most people never noticed, winning quietly every single day. But perhaps the most underestimated survival tool was the oldest one: community. In 2015, researcher Julianne Holt-Lunstad published a landmark analysis reviewing data from over 148 studies covering more than 300,000 individuals. Her conclusion was striking. Social isolation increased the risk of early death by 26%, equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Stronger than obesity, stronger than physical inactivity. The data suggested something ancient communities had always practiced instinctively. Survival was never meant to be individual. Sick individuals in hunter-gatherer societies weren't isolated.
They were surrounded, fed, sheltered, touched, spoken to. The presence of trusted others didn't just provide comfort, it measurably altered the body's physiological stress response, lowering cortisol, reducing inflammation, allowing the immune system to function without the additional burden of psychological threat. Community wasn't separate from medicine. For most of human history, it was medicine. And then there was something that took modern science embarrassingly long to discover: sleep. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker at the University of California, Berkeley, spent years documenting what happens to the human body during deep sleep. The glymphatic system, a network of channels surrounding the brain, becomes dramatically more active during sleep, flushing out metabolic waste products, including proteins associated with neurodegeneration.
The immune system consolidates its responses. Cellular repair accelerates. Inflammatory markers drop. Ancient humans had no understanding of glymphatic systems or immune consolidation, but they slept when darkness arrived, woke when light returned, followed rhythms so precisely calibrated to biological need that researchers studying indigenous communities with minimal modern technology still observe them today. They didn't know why sleep healed them, but they protected it completely, and it may have been the single most powerful medical intervention available to them. Today, modern medicine performs miracles that no ancient human could have imagined. But something worth sitting with quietly is this: the era before medicine wasn't simply an era of ignorance and death. It was an era of extraordinary biological intelligence. Bodies fighting disease through systems 300,000 years in development, communities healing each other through presence alone, plants carrying compounds that pharmaceutical laboratories are still trying to fully understand, and sleep so complete and natural that the brain cleaned itself every single night without anyone knowing it needed cleaning. Modern medicine gave humanity tools of astonishing power, but it didn't invent healing. It inherited it from ancestors who survived without hospitals, antibiotics, and surgery, by becoming, without knowing it, the most sophisticated healing system evolution had ever produced. And that system is still running inside you, right now, without asking for anything, without expecting credit, exactly as it was designed to do. If this changed how you think about your own body, subscribe. There's more where this came from.